Good morning and welcome back to Family Friday. My name is Lourdes Rodríguez. I am the Childcare and Family Resources Senior Coordinator at Life at Work Connections. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in early childhood field, along with over 30 years of experience in the educational field, different roles, such as a teacher, preschool director, coach and professional development trainer. And lately, along with my colleague Eileen Lawless, we provide help and support to employees with caregiving needs from birth until the end of life. So today we are going to talk about social emotional learning at home. And first, what is social emotional learning? Why it's important that we are devoting a day to talk about it, and how we can do it now that we are staying at home to help our children develop their emotional skills. So social emotional learning is the process through which both children and adults acquire the needed and the skills to properly knowledge, practice, and do the understanding and management of emotions, the setting and achievement of goals, the feeling and showing empathy for others, the establishing positive relationships, and making responsible reactions. When schools started social emotional learning, they noticed a reduction in violence and conflicts, and also created an atmosphere of trusting engagement and creativity that promotes both formal and informal learning and benefits emotional learning. So the communication between our emotional brain and our rational brain, or the areas of emotional and rational, is the physical source of emotional intelligence. When we receive an input or a sense, it starts here in our spinal cord, and whatever we experience has to travel all the way to the front of our brain before we can rationally process it. But on that pathway, it has to go through the limbic system, which is where our emotions are generated, which means that we first have an emotional reaction before we can rationally process what we are experiencing. So it's important to understand that emotional intelligence requires an effective communication between these two areas of our brain, the emotional and the rational one. So that's why people need to learn to wait so they avoid reacting. So there's 5 elements in social emotional intelligence, and they can be divided into 2 components: the personal competencies, which is how we manage ourselves, and the social competencies, which is how we handle relationships with others. During these days that we are staying at home, it's a great opportunity to practice and to help our family members to strengthen their personal competencies, which actually it's the ones that we are going to talk today due to the lack of opportunity of interacting with large groups or socialize in other environments or gatherings. The 2 personal competencies are self-awareness and self-management. And self-awareness, it's about knowing yourself. It's about knowing your preferences, how you feel about something, recognizes the triggers that produces certain emotions in yourself, and how to work towards understanding what are your preferences, your strengths, your challenges or flaws, if you want to call it. It's how you will end in doing or making the right decisions. Self-management is how we use that information. It's once you know how you feel or what you are feeling or what it's producing or creating that feeling, you need to learn how to use it. You need to understand that you cannot control the emotions. You will feel good and bad emotions if it is possible, but you can select or choose how to react to them. And with children, this is quite important because we still see them being like explosive and reactive. And as I explained, there's a physical reason for that. So let's try to help them understand how they feel and understand their preference and how to manage those. New habits take time to settle. And of course, all suggestions says that we should only make one change at a time. We cannot change everything overnight. And if I had to select something to work during this stay-at-home order, I will try to help my children and my loved one to develop self-control. Why? Because when we can regulate ourselves, it will provide more energy, time, and calmness to make the right decisions and to deal with the everyday life events. Self-regulations help us handle frustrations, disappointments, the worries, and help us work towards our goals or to finish what we start, or even to understand, hey, I should wait. This is better if I wait a little more. So for example, it's important. What I mean is it's important that we identify ways to self-soothe, and not just for us, but for our children. So let's say if your child, you know that it's very sensible to sounds, probably listening to music or a water fountain or a wind chime. Or if your child is very active, probably doing jumping jacks or taking a walk or a run, or maybe just teaching them how to breathe properly. But when they identify a way to self-soothe, you are providing the tools for them to take control and not react, to take a little time, because when they identify, I'm feeling a little upset, let me do this because I know this helped me to calm down. Relationships are fundamental for social emotional learning, and children need the support of a caring adult that shows them and model them how to have positive relationships and interactions. Be sure that you provide your child with opportunities, of course, accordingly to their age, to practice managing emotions. And remember to do this as casual as you do it when you show them how to wash their hands, which I'm pretty sure was such a big deal these late days, and do it as casual. Another opportunity to practice managing emotion is the opportunities to experience meaningful activities. On regular days, children receive or have opportunities to practice this through school or extracurricular activities. But these days, since they are not over there, we can help them to still have meaningful activities by practicing mindfulness and teaching them how to really value every moment. And nature offers unlimited opportunities to be amazed. So don't be afraid of just step out and show your kids everything that it's. The weather these days is beautiful. The butterflies are all over, the birds, so take the time. Be sure that you have intentional conversation with your children, and meaning that you allow them to express their feelings. Before we do this, I would like to I forgot a little poll that I have to do with you. So I'm gonna pull up a poll and I will ask you to please answer these two questions. I'm sorry, it was supposed to be 2 slides ago and I forgot. So please, let's see how we are dealing with the tolerance levels in our family. Can you see the poll? Yes, because I'm receiving answers. Okay, how many we have? Almost there. A few more. I'm already seeing the results. You have 20 seconds more. I'm missing 3 people. If you just have 8, this is a countdown. 5, 4, 3. So I'm gonna end and share with you the results. As you can see, tolerance level are way lower for everybody in the family, including you. So that's what I said, that practicing and learning self-control and self-management, it's so important. I'm sorry that I did it too late because I missed my personal cue. So let's keep going. So going back to the intentional conversations, it's important that you talk to your child intentionally by listening what they say, and do not lessen or diminish their feelings. If, for example, your child is expressing something and your reply is, oh, but that's not a big deal, the message you're sending is that emotions are not important, so they don't need to learn about it. And probably for you it's not a big deal, but if for your child it is important that they learn to recognize it, because they are creating self-awareness. Like, for example, preschoolers, they, as I already said, they are very explosive, and probably they yell at you, I hate you. You need to go beyond that and quit taking it personal using the Q-tip technique, and go beyond the wording and realize, okay, I know, and tell your child, I notice that you are upset, or I notice that you are sad. Just describe the feeling and let them know, I know that you are sad because you wanted to go outside, but it's still too hot. It's hard to wait, but I know you can do it. That way you are not paying attention to the offensive wording of I hate you. You are helping them to identify the feeling, because you are sad or upset. It's not that you hate me. And you are also providing an option to manage the challenge, like, we can wait and we'll be go later. So see how many emotional skills the child is learning just when you take the time to talk to them and to answer to their comments. Be aware that families, meaning the parents, are the first teachers and primary emotional teachers for their kids. When you are modeling interactions, it's important that you remember to also have those tough conversations. Do not avoid them. Just be honest and openly when you discuss the issue. Do not hide your feelings. Once again, we can have good or bad emotions, but if you are happy, let your children know. And if you're sad, show them how you manage and deal with these emotions that are not as pleasant as the other ones, and you're setting an example. And of course, teach them good manners and how to care for others. Try to always keep a positive outlook. We know that not everybody perceives the same event in the same way. It all depends on the person's attitude. But a positive outlook can change a challenging situation into a manageable one. My late dad used to say, well, there's life, there's hope, and everything has a solution. And I still remember that. So that brings me to the next 2 points, that children copy attitudes, which I still remember. And trust me, I'm old enough to forget some things, but that I still remember it. And the issue that it's within caring relationships, that children learns to manage and feel open and safe to express their emotions. A caring relationship helps children to cultivate positive outlook, and it's important factor to develop self-regulation and self-awareness. And also, a positive outlook save us or protect us from depression or poor health. And then I want just to leave you with like a nice message. Just these days, do not miss the opportunity to support your kids' social emotional learning, to help them gain knowledge and on how to manage their emotions, and to be able to adapt as needed, because challenge will be the only constant in their life. So if they adapt to changes, they are ready for life. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's presentation, and I hope to see you next week in all our offerings at 10 a.m. Thank you and have a nice day.